What if I told you that the greatest love story in professional wrestling history wasn't about championships, wasn't about glory, and wasn't even about the spotlight? What if the most powerful relationship Jerry the King Lawler ever had was with the 10 wrestlers he helped create, protect, and elevate Evan when it meant sacrificing his own legacy? Tonight I'm revealing the untold story of the King's heart. These aren't just wrestlers he respected. These are the 10 souls he loved like family, the ones he fought for, the ones he bled with, and the ones whose careers exist because Jerry Lawler refused to let them fail. This is the story they never told you. This is the King's heart. Jerry Lawler didn't start as a king. He started as a dreamer in Memphis, Tennessee, in 1970. A cartoonist by day, a wrestler by night. Lawler clawed his way through smoky armories and half-filled high school gyms. But something separated Jerry from every other territorial wrestler fighting for survival. He understood that wrestling wasn't about you winning, it was about making the story unforgettable. By 1974, Lawler became the soul of Memphis wrestling. He didn't just win the Southern Heavyweight Championship, he became Memphis. Every feud, every rivalry, every dropkick was crafted with the precision of an artist. But here's what made Jerry Lawler different. Here's what made him the king. He realized early that his legacy wouldn't be measured by his championships. It would be measured by who he lifted up. In the cutthroat world of territorial wrestling, where veterans buried young talent to protect their spot, Jerry Lawler did the opposite. He handpicked wrestlers, mentored them, protected them from the politics, and built them into stars. He didn't see competitors, he saw family. And over 5 decades, 10 wrestlers would capture the King's heart in ways that changed both their lives and his forever. But loving someone in the wrestling business, that comes with a price. Because in this world, love means sacrifice. Love means putting your body on the line. Love means watching the people you care about get destroyed and, sometimes, being powerless to stop it. Number 10. Stunning Steve Austin. Before Stone Cold, before the beer trucks and the middle fingers, there was a broke, struggling blonde kid named Steve Austin working in the USWA in 1989. Jerry Lawler saw something nobody else did. He saw the fire. Lawler didn't just book Austin, he protected him. WCW didn't know what to do with Stunning Steve. It was Lawler who told him, "Kid, you're going to be the biggest star this business has ever seen, but you need to find your voice." Years later, when Austin became a global icon, he said in an interview, "Jerry Lawler believed in me when I was nobody. The King gave me a throne before I ever wore a crown." Number 9. Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett was Memphis royalty. His father promoted the territory, but Jerry Lawler treated Jeff like his own son. Trained him, he wrestled him, and he taught him the Memphis-style psychology. Storytelling, making every move matter. When Jeff was ready to leave for bigger promotions, Lawler didn't hold him back, pushed him forward, telling him, "Go show them what Memphis taught you." The conflict? Jeff struggled in WWE and WCW typecast as a mid-carder. But Lawler never stopped advocating for him behind the scenes, making calls, putting his reputation on the line. When Jeff finally founded TNA, he called Jerry first. "King, I need you." And Lawler showed up not for the money, but for love. Number 8. randSavage. Now here's where it gets complicated. Jerry Lawler and randSavage had one of the most brutal feuds in wrestling history. They hated each other on screen, they brawled, they bled. But here's the secret. Off camera, Jerry loved Randy's dedication to the craft. Savage was a perfectionist, just like Lawler. They spent hours discussing match psychology. And Jerry respected Randy's obsession with making every moment perfect. When Randy tragically passed away in 2011, Jerry broke down on WWE television. "People thought we hated each other," Lawler said through tears. "But Randy was one of the greatest artists I ever shared a ring with." I loved that, man. Number 7. Bret the Hitman Hart Jerry Lawler versus Bret Hart at SummerSlam 1993. It's legendary. But what fans don't know is that this feud almost didn't happen. Lawler initially refused to turn heel on Bret because he respected him too much. Vince McMahon had to personally convince Jerry, "This will make Bret the biggest babyface in the company." Lawler agreed not for himself, but for Bret. He took vicious chair shots. He sold like his life depended on it. And he made Bret look like a superhero. After their matches, Bret would hug Jerry and whisper, "Thank you, King, you made me." Number 6. Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Jimneidhart was wildin predictable, chaotic, a bull in a china shop. But Jerry Lawler loved him for it. In the USWA, Lawler gave Neidhart the freedom to be himself, to unleash the crazy, to be the enforcer. When Jim struggled with personal demons later in life, Jerry was one of the few who never gave up on him, calling him regularly, checking in, reminding him, "Your family Anvil, always." Number 5. EddieGilbert. Eddie Hot Stuff Gilbert was Jerry Lawler's greatest rival in Memphis. Their feuds were legendary, bloody, emotional, real, but behind the curtain, Jerry and Eddie were inseparable. They wrote angles together, traveled together, and trusted each other with their careers. When Eddie tragically died of a heart attack in 1995 at just 33 years old, Jerry was destroyed. He delivered a tearful tribute on Memphis television saying, "Eddie was my brother. I loved him. I'll never stop missing him." Number 4. Terry Funk. Terry Funk and Jerry Lawler had an empty arena. It's a match in 1981 that is still considered one of the greatest brawls in wrestling history. They beat each other senseless. But after the match, Terry told Jerry, "You're one of the toughest sons of bitches I've ever been in the ring with." Their mutual respect turned into a lifelong friendship. Lawler loved Terry's fearlessness, his willingness to do anything for the business. Number 3. Andy Kaufman. This is the one that changed everything. Andy Kaufman wasn't a wrestler. He was a comedian, an artist. But Jerry Lawler saw him as a genius. Their feud blurred reality and fiction in ways wrestling had never seen. The slap on Letterman, planned but the world thought it was real. When Andy died of cancer in 1984, Jerry was heartbroken. "Andy taught me that wrestling could be art," Lawler said. "He loved this business and I loved him for it." Number 2. Bill Dundee. Bill Dundee was Jerry's tag team partner, his rival, and his brother. They main evented together for decades in Memphis. Dundee was the ONLY wrestler Jerry trusted completely in the ring. When Dundee's career wound down, Jerry made sure he always had a job, always had a paycheck, always had dignity. "Dundee wasn't just my partner," Jerry once said. "He was the other half of my soul, number 1, Owen Hart." And now, the wrestler Jerry Lawler loved most. Owen Hart. Owen Hart was everything Jerry loved about wrestling. Humble, talented, selfless, and obsessed with making others look good. They worked together constantly in the mid-90s. Owen trusted Jerry completely. And Jerry protected Owen like a son. On May 23, 1999, Jerry Lawler was sitting at the commentary table in Kansas City when Owen Hart fell from the rafters. Jerry was the first person to see Owen after the fall. He rushed to the ring, he held Owen's hand, he begged him to stay. And when Owen died, Jerry blamed himself. "I should have stopped it," he said privately. "Should have told Vince it was too dangerous." Here's the secret most fans don't know. Jerry Lawler almost quit wrestling after Owen's death. He was broken. He couldn't forgive himself. But Martha Hart, Owen's widow, called him. She told him, "Jerry, Owen loved you. He'd want you to keep going. He'd want you to keep telling stories." So Jerry stayed. Not for himself. For Owen, every time Jerry Lawler enters a ring, he touches his crown and looks up. That's for Owen. That's for the wrestler he loved most. Jerry the King Lawler's legacy isn't his 168 championships. It isn't his WWE Hall of Fame induction. It's these 10 souls. 10 wrestlers whose lives, careers, and legacies exist because the King loved them. In a business built on ego, Jerry Lawler chose love. He chose mentorship. Chose sacrifice. Stone Cold Steve Austin became the biggest draw in wrestling history, but he started in Lawler's ring. Jeff Jarrett built an empire, but Lawler taught him how. Bret Hart became the best there is, but Lawler made him look like it. The lesson. Greatness isn't about how many times you win, it's about how many people you lift. Jerry Lawler understood that a true king doesn't rule through fear, he rules through love. And these 10 wrestlers, they were the King's heart. They still are. If this story moved you, if you've never seen Jerry the King Lawler the same way again, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive from the legend creator. Drop a comment below telling me which of these 10 wrestlers surprised you the most, and who should I cover next. Thank you for watching. Long live the King. Long live love.